How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
Probably as good as you feel being the same sex as Hillary Clinton. One opens his mouth and tries to force feed people bullshit, and the other keeps her mouth shut and tries to hide shit in her purse.
We're not so different, you and I.
Why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
I could play the feminist card and go on for days about how they set unrealistic standards for men and relationships that no man could ever adhere to, but I'm going to skip all that and tell you that they're boring as shit. They're overly predictable and usually follow the exact same format. Compare it to the white cop meets black cop trope. One cop is book smart and good at his job, and then the powers that be match him with the rough, no-holds-barred black cop that teaches him how they do it in the streets. Their cultural differences clash, and it makes for a wacky, zany ride. At least the first fucking time. After 50 movies exactly like that, it gets a bit tedious. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Everybody likes The Notebook. Everybody likes Beyonce. It's just a fact.
I hate The Notebook. Also, I'd swing my bat at Alyssa White Glues, Lindsay from MSI, Marina and the Diamonds, Angela Gasso, the girls from Calafina with Yuki Kajiura, Emma Stone, and all three of the Stave sisters before I even thought of pulling Beyonce from a burning building. In short, fuck The Notebook and the horse it rode in on, which, for the record, was probably Beyonce.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies
When y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours?
If it's any consolation, in my movies there would be so many fucking explosions you wouldn't hear the women talking. At any rate, I can't remember the last time I had a good hour-long conversation about boobs. Probably because they don't happen. We probably talk about boobs as much as you talk about tampons and dick size. So semi-frequently, unless someone with an especially nice pair walks by, and then it becomes a conversation piece where we appraise it like a fine work of art. Your efforts to look appealing to the opposite sex are not in vain.
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
I have never made any assumptions that I won't like a movie based on the lead unless it's an actor or actress that I can't tolerate. I'm sure most men feel the same way. That being the case, there are several great movies with a female lead in them. In fact, all of my favorite porn has a female lead. Having said that, if you try to get me to watch a movie called Sunshine Happy Fun the Musical, I don't care if the lead is a man, a woman, or a transgendered marmot dwarf hybrid from a parallel universe that came to our world to steal all of the rainbows to give to the LGBT community on his dying planet. I probably won't watch it. Actually, I would probably watch that. Yeah.
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
First of all, let's clear the air here. You're not funnier than me. Also, I'm absolutely taken aback when I find a funny feminist because, just kidding, there is no such thing. However, when I meet a funny woman, or a funny person in general, it is simply a pleasant reminder that people aren't too busy playing the victim that they can't make jokes and try to retain some semblance of their individuality. This is especially important as we as a species progress ever closer to becoming a society of automatons.
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged?
I'm the only one in town who do double anal and double vaginal at the same time. You know, DVDA.
When men do it, they're congratulated.
I'm going to teach you how to avoid this kind of social stigma. Something that you need to remember is the definition of a slut is a woman that will bang everyone, and the definition of a whore is a woman who will bang everyone except for them. So listen to what people are saying. If they are calling you a slut, congratulations, you've won. If they call you a whore, just bang them. No more social stigma. Anyway, there is nothing anyone can do that will not be judged by everyone else. That's the society that we live in. And yes, you're absolutely right about men being congratulated. Wikipedia has a laundry list of political sex scandals with the name of the man, followed by a congratulations and a scratch and sniff banana sticker. 2 stickers if your old lady filed an alienation of affection lawsuit against the other woman.
Why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date?
Is this a trick question? I'm led to believe that if 1 is too few but 3 is too many, then 2 would be the appropriate response, right? Wrong. If you would listen to what I just said about avoiding social stigma, you would know that banging me on the first date and being labeled a slut is the right choice. Good job. Here's a banana sticker.
In what world does no mean yes?
No means no.
You know, you're absolutely right. But if you ask enough, sometimes it turns into a yes. This point is illustrated perfectly when we're sitting on the couch watching the last 5 minutes of MASH, and then all of a sudden there's a barrage of man-seeking missiles in the form of a, "Hey, wash the dishes," that continues incessantly until we get pissed off and wash the fucking dishes. Everyone gets what they want. I just figured it was a non-verbal agreement between the sexes.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
You're being dishonest here. There are also plenty of women that would say women are too emotional to be leaders. I personally am not opposed to a woman being a leader by any stretch of the imagination, but only if she undergoes rigorous testing. She will have to watch a series of videos from the Ban Bossy campaign, and if she empathizes with any of them, her ass is out. Oh, and about the justification of catcalling and not being able to control it, I've never really thought of it. I don't think it's emotional, though. Maybe more of a manifestation of primal instinct. Maybe men who can't help catcalling can get a letter in the LGBT acronym. Huh.
Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
For the same reason a vacuum salesman randomly shows up at your house to clean your floor, the chance of making a sale is increased exponentially.
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women?
All joking aside, I don't think it's right to make offensive comments to women. At least not to just women. I think everyone has the right as a human being to be criticized. Regardless of what your women's studies class teaches you, it's okay to not be a fucking crybaby. Only feminists spend countless dollars and hours getting everyone to infantilize them and then bitch about it when no one shows them respect.
But when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay.
You've obviously never met my sister. That filthy tramp does whatever the fuck she wants and doesn't take shit from nobody.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle?
It feels pretty fucking good, actually.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
I can guarantee you beyond a shadow of a doubt that if your nipples felt like they were being wedged between cinder blocks when you had your arms at your sides, not only would you walk around with your arms up, but you'd probably start a new fucking movement over it.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex? Even though we literally birth you, like watermelons, through like this.
So that's where babies come from? Shit, I asked my mom and she told me the stork, and then I asked my dad and he told me the milkman, so I had no fucking clue. But now it makes sense. Anyway, I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the fact that generally men are physically stronger than women? On average, women's physical strength is only 42 to 63% of a man's. Part of this is due to testosterone levels, or the lack thereof, which, without testosterone, you will not be building muscle mass. This is not to say that there aren't women 10 times stronger than me that could easily kick my ass in a boxing match, but if you have to ask, it is because of the intrinsic differences in the physiology of both sexes that men are perceived as stronger.
Why is it so bad to show your emotions?
It means you're human.
Because the emotions men exhibit are not always going to be the same as a woman's. If a man and a woman are watching a movie and the little boy dies, you can almost expect the woman to cry, and there's a chance that the man will not, even if he is feeling the same level of sorrow. Conversely, if a man and a woman are to experience something so mentally taxing and mind-numbingly stupid that it incites rage, men are more likely to respond with a headbutt to the refrigerator than a woman is. This is especially true when watching feminist rants.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
Because if we stopped trying to prove our masculinity to feminists, they would try to turn us into Louis Vuitton bag-toting ladyboys. Otherwise, I don't care what anyone thinks. Especially you. Fuck you.
Why the f*** isn't it ladylike to cuss?
This question would hold a lot more validity if it wasn't censored. Anyway, it more than likely stems from the fact that in some states in the US, it is still unlawful for a man to swear in front of women and children. In fact, in 1999, a man from Michigan was taken to court over it. In case you were wondering, this section of Michigan law has since been repealed and is no longer in effect as of March 14th, 2016.
When did words get gendered?
For monolingual English speakers in the United States, sometime before 1931. For roughly 80 other languages around the fucking world, probably around the inception of their tongue.
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Because if the feminist movement has succeeded in doing one thing, it would be diminishing the meaning of the word rape. The feminazis of the world would be inclined to tell you that they were sexually assaulted even if all the man did was mouth breathe and ogle their boobs for an extended period of time. Sexual assault is a truly heinous thing. You can thank feminazis for turning that into, what's that one story? Something about a boy and he cried wolf or something. What was that called again?
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she's on her period?
We don't assume she's angry because she's on her period. We assume she's on her period because she's angry. Thanks for twisting my words and make me sound like a fucking asshole.
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We can say the same thing about your dick size.
Duh, that's why we send you dick pics. That way you know what you're in for, obviously. Anyway, if makeup allows a woman to feel good about herself, then I'm all for it. But no, you actually can't say the same thing about dick size because generally you don't see us parading around with summer sausage strapped to our legs to pick up chicks.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Because you put them there. Thanks to strong women like Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, and Sojourner Truth, women's suffrage was realized in 1920. Since then, you have had the right to vote. By voting or not voting, you have put those people in office. Currently, there are 104 women in Congress out of 525, or roughly 20% total. If you don't like that, don't just try to blame men. Be stronger, fight for something you believe in, and break the mold.
Do you have a coochie?
No.
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
Because they fucking rock. All the vagina straight men love, and none of the penis that straight men don't love. It's a win-win situation. Not to mention, when you have lesbian friends, you can sit around and ogle chicks and they don't nag you for it. It's like when straight women go shopping with their gay guy friends. Except, we don't buy anything.
How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
It feels pretty fucking terrible, actually. I mean, there's only a few times where I've thrown up from being hit in the nuts, so it isn't necessarily the worst thing, but it is mildly uncomfortable. Thanks for asking, I know you're concerned.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
How the hell would I? It comes naturally. You don't make any sense. I mean, I can't even find an analogy for it. I'd ask if you get tired of remembering to breathe all the time, but you probably set an alarm to take the guesswork out of it.
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
And you drop the bomb. You know how stupid this argument is, right? If women were only being paid 77% of what they were paying men for equal work, then all incentive for them to hire men would be shot to shit. Think about it for 2 seconds. Most large companies pride themselves on creating affirmative action plans in order to showcase to all of their friends how many women and minorities they hire. However, if they were able to cut costs 23% by hiring women, they would have all of the white men out of their business so fast you wouldn't know whether to shit or go blind. Your facts come from malformed statistics comparing earned incomes of men and women side by side. Let's look at the actual facts. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics, in full-time employment, men spend roughly 36 minutes more a day at work than women do. According to another chart, men account for 57% of overall hours worked. You will also notice that men account for 92% of occupational fatalities, but that is neither here nor there, just something to think about. So let's just completely eliminate that evidence and assume that both men and women are doing the same job and putting in the exact same hours. Men are being paid more. Why? Because they ask for more money. They ask for more money. Whoa! A study of MBA graduates from Harvard Business shows that 50% of them negotiated their starting wage on a job offer, where only 13% of women did. Other surveys show that 31% of women are simply too uncomfortable with negotiating salary. If you as a woman are legitimately being paid less than everyone else, with all else being equal, you should probably seek a lawyer or a new job.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome! More money!
Okay, first you make less money, and now you make more money. How about you make up your fucking mind? I'm just kidding. I know exactly what you're asking, and agreed. It is totally sweet if the girl I'm with is making more money than me. Until she spends all of mine, too. Then it's kinda sad, I guess.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
When opinionated men are seen as bosses.
I think the word you were looking for was bigots, dollface. Opinionated men are seen as bigots. And for the same reason, opinionated women are seen as bitches. It just depends on who you ask. I'm not bigoted. I would love to hear your opinion, as long as it doesn't conflict with my own.
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
Because if I did, not only would I no longer have any male friends, but I would be ostracized by my female friends in that room as well. It's difficult having friends that aren't wine asses. I feel trapped, you see. Anyway, I felt strangely conflicted on how I wanted to end this segment when I realized that I hadn't offended any particular groups yet. So I leave you this in closing, and I hope to see you next time.
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
The one where you're black.